South Point is also proud to provide a variety of relaxing amenities for the guests who want to be pampered. Soak up the sun and let your stress melt away in our lagoon-style paradise swimming pool. A relaxing getaway where you can bask in the desert sun and enjoy seasonal food and bar service poolside. We have 11 amazing restaurants featuring a wide variety for every price range and appetite. South Point's Garden Buffet has something for everyone at unbeatable prices. Or, if hunger strikes in the middle of the night, join us at Coronado Cafe. The American menu offers breakfast, lunch, or dinner 24 hours a day, plus a Chinese kitchen for authentic Chinese dishes from 11 a.m. to 11 p.m. From steak and eggs to wonton soup, it's fast and friendly service 24/7. When you need a quick pick-me-up, you can find it at our state-of-the-art Starbucks just inside the main South Point entrance. Order ahead with the Starbucks app for easy mobile order pickups. Or enjoy your favorites in the relaxing dining area anytime, day or night. If you love Mexican food, Baja Miguel's has all of your south-of-the-border favorites. There are dozens of classics to choose from, like fajitas, ceviche, chimichangas, tacos, and more. And for spirit lovers, Baja's colorful non-smoking tequila bar is right outside.
Hi, I'm Kurt Angle. I represented the United States in the Olympics in 1996 and won a gold medal. Then I parlayed that into a pro wrestling career. I saw a commercial a few years ago.
Tunnel to Towers Foundation made a promise.
The Tunnel to Towers Foundation is paying off the mortgages for Gold Star families with young children. I thought, this is really cool. I want to be a part of it. My dad served in the Army for 30 years. We didn't have a lot of money, but he made sure we had what we needed. He set a great example for all of us. He died in a construction accident my freshman year in high school. When he died, we didn't have any income coming in, and we ended up being forced to move out of our house. I was devastated. So I understand what these families are going through, and to have an organization like Tunnel to Towers come in and pick you up and carry you and give you a home to live in, I think that's just amazing. I'd like to ask you to donate $11 a month to support these efforts by going to t2t.org or calling 1-844-BRAVEST.
The following is a Race Day Las Vegas presentation in association with Siraco Productions Limited on the Race Day Las Vegas Radio Network.
Live from the gaming capital of the world, time for Race Day Las Vegas, covering the sport of kings with a Las Vegas perspective. Now to the race desk with your host, Ralph Siraco.
From the backstretch to the turf club, at the racebooks and on the internet, to all horse players around the world, a good morning. Alrighty. Good morning, everybody. Welcome to the Race Day Las Vegas radio program. And you can tell that we're on the road to the Kentucky Derby with the countdown right behind us. 22 days, 11 hours, 48 minutes and 13 seconds and counting until they run for the roses. America's most famous horse race, and of course, as they say, the most exciting 2 minutes in sports. We welcome you to the Race Day Show. We come to you live and direct from the gaming capital of the world, Las Vegas, Nevada, right here at the South Point Studios at the South Point Hotel Casino Complex on Las Vegas Boulevard in Las Vegas, and the South Point Studios YouTube streaming network. And, of course, our radio anchor here in town, our big anchor radio station here in Las Vegas is Sports Talk 1400 AM and 107.1 FM. That's where you can hear us on the radio if you're running around town. And, of course, on our websites, racedaylasvegas.com, .vegas, .world, .global, etc. iPhone, Android, and Google phone handled with the apps, the KSHP app, and, of course, you can hear us through the radio station and the YouTube app. You can see us and hear us as well there on your devices and anywhere you get your podcasting as well. As a matter of fact, doing the rating, we had a rating on our podcasting. It says we're one of the top 10 racing shows podcasting in the world. So we thank all of you that watch us and listen to us on a podcast as well. So we welcome you to the show, no matter how you get us, wherever you get us. Welcome. Well, it's a Friday, and we're zipping on out to the weekend. And, of course, the weather's going to be a big factor again over the weekend. We know that that big storm that was going through the Midwest, et cetera, is now heading its way up to the Northeast. As a matter of fact, it'll be kind of iffy today at Aqueduct, but they're expecting rain there at Aqueduct over the weekend. As far as Kentucky and Keeneland is concerned, it looks like the weather might be a little iffy today at Keeneland as well, and certainly we'll wait and see about tomorrow. Now, of course, the Lexington Stakes is the big race tomorrow, and the Lexington Stakes, of course, the big race tomorrow, and as you know, that holds 20 points for the Kentucky Derby leaderboard, but none of the horses in the race, even if they win and get the 20 points, can make their way into the top 20. However, we do know that there are going to be defections. There's one more defection we got to talk about for the Kentucky Derby that happened overnight. And it was one of the horses that had quite a few points in the leaderboard, and that was Owen Almighty. Owen Almighty, the connections have decided not to go in the Derby. He's not hurt, but they're going to go in the Pat Day Mile, a one-turn, 1 mile event on the undercard on Derby Day, instead of going the 1.25 miles in the Kentucky Derby. So Owen Almighty opts for the Pat Day Mile. That'll leave one spot now open again. And as the days progress, like we got 22 days left, that it very well may be that there'll be more defections. I don't know how many more, but there might be more defections as well. But none of the horses in the Lexington tomorrow will have enough points, even with the 20, to really make a big effect unless you get 5 or 6 horses that defect. We don't see that happening. But Owen Almighty goes in the Pat Day Mile on Derby Day, but not in the Derby. Also, the Lexington Stakes at Keeneland is really a race that a lot of horsemen look forward to and look for as a prep race for the Preakness Stakes, the middle jewel of the Triple Crown. These are the horses that just can't quite make it either for distance limitations or for the fact that they started out a little bit late in their racing for the year. So as we look at the Lexington tomorrow, we're going to look at that race to really take a look at how the performances are in that race for future, looking ahead to the future for the middle jewel of the Triple Crown, the Preakness Stakes. Other news, Mike Rapoli, owner Mike Rapoli has said he has interest in buying Gulfstream Park. Okay? Gulfstream Park. He said he doesn't like, he's against the 100% decoupling that's going on in the state of Florida with the casino money and the racetrack. But he said that if the folks at Gulfstream Park want to sell that racetrack, he'll put together a deal to get the job done, and he will keep racing at Gulfstream. So that's a possibility. You never know about that. Rapoli is really a mover and shaker in the business, that's for sure. And today's going to be kind of a fun day to watch the races at Keeneland, etc., and at Oaklawn Park. Today at Oaklawn Park in their feature race, Skelly goes in that race. And Skelly goes in that race, and he's going for a perfect record at Oaklawn Park. So that super speedy Skelly will be in a race today at Oaklawn Park. And Carl Spackler makes his return to the races this year today at Keeneland. So we got a couple of really speedy horses out there going to highlight the racing cards around the country today. All right, it is 22 days to go, and we keep counting away for the Kentucky Derby. And one last reminder that we're going to take a look at, the weather when we get there here in Las Vegas. Is starting to get into that kind of like that summertime mode here in Vegas. Right now in Las Vegas, it's about 72 degrees out, and we're going to get up into the 90s today in Las Vegas. It's beautiful, it's sunny, it's gorgeous out here in Las Vegas. And this is the way it's going to be throughout the entire weekend, just in case you want to come on up and enjoy some of the racing and sports action here at the South Point in Las Vegas. That's the way the weather is going to be. Of course, fast, firm, and perfect, always in the race and sports books here. All right, taking a look, I want to remind you again, with only 22 days to go, to make your plans to be with us here at the South Point. We'd love to have you here. We invite you to come and join here the Kentucky Derby celebration for the 151st Run for the Roses. We start out with our special Kentucky Derby preview show with our handicappers, Jonathan Hardoon, John Lendo, and several other handicappers that we're going to get together for a Kentucky Derby preview race show, a Kentucky Derby preview show that will happen here only on the South Point streaming network at YouTube, the only place you can get it, where you're probably watching right now. And that's going to be on the Wednesday before the Kentucky Derby. It'll be the last day of this month, April 30th at 3 p.m. Pacific time. 3 p.m. Pacific time. Jonathan Hardoon, John Lendo will be on set with us, and a whole bunch of other handicappers to take a look at this, what I believe to be a rather wide-open Kentucky Derby this year. It'll be a lot of fun, and that'll be here on the YouTube streaming network, the South Point streaming network, only on that Wednesday. And then on Friday, Kentucky Oaks Day, that'll, of course, be on May the 1st. May 1st on Friday, the Kentucky Oaks Day. As soon as the Kentucky Oaks is over and the races in Southern California are over, I will take the stage in the Grand View Lounge along with Jonathan Hardoon and John Lendo doing our annual Kentucky Derby seminar. Now, that Grand View Lounge is adjacent to the race book. We'll start about 6 o'clock in the evening as soon as the races are over on the West Coast. And we will, of course, it's a beautiful, setup for a lounge with tables, etc. You can have a drink or whatever. And, of course, you can ask us any questions you want about the Kentucky Derby. And I'll go over and, you know me, I'm going to go try to probe our handicappers in the scene if they like any other horses that they really like in the Kentucky Derby Day program there as well. So we're going to do that seminar in the Grand View Lounge on Friday, May 1st at 6 o'clock. And that is also free of charge. Just come on out and join us. We invite you to come on out to the seminar. And then with all that work done and prepared and done, it's time to go to the races on Kentucky Derby Day, Saturday, May 2nd. And we will have a big Kentucky Derby party in the exhibit hall. It's the exhibit hall this year, a big exhibit hall for the Kentucky Derby here at the South Point. Free admission. The doors will open at 9 a.m. They got the big banquet tables there. Set up all of your handicapping paraphernalia. Bring your friends and have a whole table to root on the Kentucky Derby. Big movie theater type screens and all the walls, and certainly the other races as well that are racing that day around the country. You can be able to bet that because they'll have a bank of betting windows. They'll have betting kiosks and, of course, food and beverage discount prices. So you can enjoy some snacks and some drinks along the way throughout the day for the Kentucky Derby. And there will be a hat contest. It was really popular last year, and some of the people that showed up to compete in the hat contest. Really did a great job. They were really ingenious with some of the hats that they showed up with. It'll be a hat contest with cash prizes. All of that free from the time you park your car in the parking lot until the race, the Kentucky Derby is official. The entire experience will be free. We invite you to join us. Come on up, and we'd love to say hi to you in person. We're always looking at you through this camera, but when you come on out, it gives a personal touch, and we'd be happy to talk to you. Just come on out and join us here at the South Point. All right, now that all of that is over, we still got 22 days and counting to go to the Kentucky Derby. And on today's show, we have our handicappers, Jonathan Ardoon, Rich Eng, John Lindo. As you heard from Jerry yesterday on the show, he is in transit back east for the holiday coming up for him. But he did leave us a pick, and his power pages, of course, for Aqueduct today are at Jerry J's power page. So we have Jerry's picks, John Lindo, Rich Eng, and Jonathan Ardoon, and your racing menu as well. And so with any further ado, we're going to go to our first break on this Race Day show for this Friday. Don't forget to join us at YouTube. Go to YouTube, get on the Race Day page after you hit the South Point Studios streaming network. Get to the Race Day page, click that, and then you can get off and started with the Race Day subscribe, and then you can start chatting away on the chat box. All you have to do is subscribe, and that is free. So come on and join us today. We'll be right back.
South Point Casino has plenty of attractions for the whole family. Catch a movie. Our 16-screen movie theater includes 2 XD Extreme screens for the ultimate in viewing, sound, and luxury. After the show, treat the family to a variety of treats at our old-fashioned ice cream parlor, Kate's Corner. We scoop up a variety of creamy concoctions, including smoothies, hand-dipped cones, milkshakes, malts, sodas, and sundaes. At Kate's, there's something for everyone. And if you've still got time to spare, our bowling center might be right up your alley. Voted Best of Las Vegas, it's a great place for friends and family fun. 64 lanes, a pro shop, snack bar, and arcade. And while the kids are bowling, you can play slots and sip on a drink in the Alley Cat Lounge while overlooking the lanes. For our more serious and professional bowlers, the South Point is also home to a separate tournament bowling plaza.
All right, back on Race Day Las Vegas for this Friday as we start with, of course, ramping it up for the weekend here in Las Vegas. Looking at the temperatures right now, 81 degrees in Miami. Beautiful day there. New York, 49 degrees, but it's going to start raining sometime in New York, possibly after the races, maybe while the races are going on. But they're going to have that rain going through the weekend in New York. Right now, 49 degrees. They're going to top out at 49 degrees, I should say. As far as the other parts of the country, Southern California, 84 degrees. It's been a perfect day for racing there, but they're still on their little break between the Santa Anita winter meet and the Hollywood meet that will start next week. As far as here in Las Vegas, again, we're going to get up into the 90s. They say about 96, 97 degrees here. And in Phoenix, Arizona, 101 degree top out today. Okay. And Tampa, 82 degrees. Chicago, 49. So you get the picture. Anyhow, that's the way the temperature's looking as far as the precipitation, et cetera. As I say, the weather map tells us there's a lot of action. There's some action going over the state of Kentucky, and then it moves onto the East Coast and up the eastern coast to New York, et cetera, as well there. All right, time to get started with our racing menu. Reminding you, as we always do, the first post times we broadcast on this racing menu each and every day reflect that of the Pacific time zone. So if you're in the Pacific time zone, got no problem. If you're here in Las Vegas and playing the races in our race book today here at the South Point, no problem as well. These will be your first post times. However, if you're listening in a time zone anywhere around the world, there's plenty of different time zones that you'll have to tweak from wherever you're at to get to the Pacific time zone to make sure that the first post times that you have in your area reflect the right times, okay? Tweak it from the Pacific time zone. These are Pacific time zone start times. Don't want you to miss anything like I miss Mom and Dad. Okay, here we go. The menu starts with Laurel Park. Laurel Park has the first post time of 8 races at 9:10, 9:10 at Laurel, And they have a pick six jackpot today at Laurel Park. That pick six jackpot, $2,634. First post time at Laurel is at 9:10. Then we go to Mahoning Valley Racecourse. Mahoning Valley Racecourse has a pick six jackpot carryover there as well. $21,352 in that jackpot pick six carryover. 8 races at the Mahoning and a first post time of 9:15. Tampa Bay Downs has 9 races today at Tampa Bay. Tampa Bay's first post time with a carryover in their pick six jackpot of $5,743. 9 races, first post time is at 9:35. And then we get to Gulfstream Park. Gulfstream Park has 9 races today. Their first post time is at 9:50. That pick six jackpot carryover right now at Gulfstream stands at $478,581. $478,581. Now, you remember that a big carryover that was canceled on mandatory payoff day because of the weather, they canceled the races there. That thing's been carrying over into this pot right now. But they say they're going to give a mandatory payoff on Sunday at Gulfstream Park for it. For today, $478,581. 9 races at Gulfstream and a first post time of 9:50. Then we get out to Keeneland. And boy, what a day they had yesterday at Keeneland. I'm going to get into some of the results there with Jonathan Hardoon as soon as we're wrapping up with this menu. Today at Keeneland, you got 10 races, 2 stakes races, the $300,000 Limestone Stakes for 3-year-old fillies at 5.5 furlongs. Scheduled for the turf course has an overflow field of 16. It's a wide open event. The morning line favorite at 4-1 is She's So Spicy with Irat Ortiz Jr. aboard. Then a couple of races later, the Grade 1 $650,000 Maker's Mark Mile at a mile on the turf for 4-year-olds and up. A field of 9. And in this race, the 9-5 favorite is Carl Speckler with Flavian Pratt aboard, making his first start there at Keeneland this year. Carl Speckler, the favorite in that one. 10 races today at Keeneland and a first post time at Keeneland at 10 o'clock. 10 o'clock's the first post at Keeneland. They got a 2-day pick six carryover at Keeneland. $211,734. $211,734. And I'll tell you in a minute why it's a 2-day carryover in the pick six there. The pick six, by the way, starts in the 5th race. They got 10 races today at Keeneland. The Big A, Aqueduct in New York. As far as Aqueduct is concerned, as I say, they are expecting some bad weather going through there. But right now, the track is fast and it's cloudy. So the weather, we'll wait and see if it comes in before the races are over. But in any case, 8 races today at the Big A and a first post time of 10:10. 10:10 at Aqueduct. Oak Lawn Park has 10 races today. I don't know about the track conditions there, but they did have some weather that moved through there in the last couple of days. Now, Oak Lawn Park, their 9th race, their feature race of the day, is a optional claiming allowance race at 6 furlongs. In this race, Skelly, who breaks from the rail in the 7-horse field, is the 3-5 favorite with Ricardo Santana aboard. This horse is looking for his 9th consecutive Oak Lawn win and his first start this year in this race today. Skelly looks to keep that streak going in the 9th race today at Oak Lawn. 10 races and a first post time of 10:30. Evangeline Downs has 9 races. Their first post time is at 3:30. And then we have Charlestown coming up next. Charlestown has a pick six jackpot carryover of $2,428. 9 races and a first post time of 4 p.m. at Charlestown today. And that's the racing menu for today. Now, I got to tell you, we got to look at some of the results from yesterday, especially at Keeneland. As far as Aqueduct was concerned yesterday, a bunch of favorites except for the first race. They paid $27.80. But you had Rudy Rodriguez having a couple of winners yesterday. Todd Pletcher had a couple of winners yesterday. And as far as the jockeys, Dylan Davis had a couple of wins, and Manny Franco had 3 wins on the card. His 3 wins at Manny Franco's came in the first 5 races yesterday at Aqueduct, there at the Big A yesterday. Gulfstream Park yesterday, Todd Pletcher also had a winner there. Edgar Zayed's had a couple of wins. His second win came for Pletcher in the 9th and final at 9:20. And as far as the pick 5 at Gulfstream, pretty good prices. $580, $65.20, $11.80, $14.80, and $9.20 produced a pick 5. A pick 5 of $22,853 yesterday at Gulfstream. And finally at Keeneland, Katie barred the door. It was bombs away at Keeneland yesterday as far as the prices. Got to talk about the first race yesterday at Keeneland. The winner was Double Talker for Wesley Ward at $11.12. That wasn't the story. The story was the jockey, David Flores. You remember him in Southern California years ago. He was the kingpin out at the Pomona Fair. He was the leading jockey always at the Pomona Fair and one of the top jockeys on the Southern California circuit. Well, David Flores is now Wesley Ward's right-hand man in his stable there in Kentucky. But he rode this horse yesterday, and with David Flores, 57 years old, had his first win in the saddle as a jockey since 2021. Congratulations to David Flores. And, of course, all of you guys who remember him in Southern California know that Flores is a heck of a rider. So that started out the day. Flavien Prat had a couple of wins. He won the third race, paying $6.28 for Rudolph Brissett. Came back in the seventh race for Riley Mott, paying $9.74. Trainer John Ortiz had a couple of wins. He had the sixth race winner with Raylu Gutierrez. The longest shot on the board paid $111.20 to win. That was in the sixth race. That probably single-handedly caused the pick six carryover. And then John Ortiz came back in the eighth race with Ired Ortiz Jr. paying $8.20. Juan Hernandez, Southern California's leading jockey at Santa Anita, spending the week in Kentucky. He won the last race for trainer Peter Urton, who also is from Southern California. They paid $11.24. But here's the late pick five. $21, $111.20, $9.74, $8.20, and $11.24. The late pick five paid $55,063.75. Of course, nobody had the picks and change. Overall, yesterday at Keeneland was a pretty nice day of racing out there. The sun was shining, it was beautiful, yet they had 29 late scratches on the card yesterday at Keeneland. All right, let's bring in Jonathan Ardoon. Jonathan, good morning.
Good morning, Ralph. How are you?
I'm doing fine. Top handicap horses. Then you have Calendanga, Locked. Locked is in sixth place. Soul Rush is in seventh. Duriza is in eighth. Rebels Romance is ninth. And Voyage Bubble is in 10th. Of course, these horses are from around the world, but the U.S. horses, the USA horses, White Burial is in fourth place, and Locked is in the sixth place in the world's top. All right, we've reconnected with Jonathan Ardoon now. Let's go back to Jonathan. Good morning, Jonathan.
Good morning, Ralph. I guess the weather's starting to kick in because the phone dropped me, so I'm back.
Well, that's okay. You're back. That's fine. In any case, interesting results yesterday at Keeneland, huh?
Yeah, to say the least. I mean, they give you one or two horses a day. 2 days ago, they gave you a horse from Penn National, winning at Keeneland. Who would have ever thunk it? But it happened, and that's how you get $150 horses there and these huge pick five payouts. So,
Jonathan,
you got horses shipping in from all over. By the way, I would pay very close attention to trainers that had like really terrific meets, like coming in, like Sherry DeVoe, for example, at Fairgrounds. She knocked them dead. She was winning at 30%. Every horse she's sending out at Keeneland is getting way, way overbet. And so far, I don't think she's had a winner, or maybe, very, very little success so far. It's just very hard to maintain, unless you're Linda Rice. Trainers just don't win at 30% every meet. It's just a hard thing to do. They point for meets and they get the best. And she pointed, obviously, for Fairgrounds because she had an unbelievable meet there. And obviously, it's not carrying over yet to Keeneland. So pay attention. A lot of those horses are overbet. Look at the Peter Uriton horse we gave out yesterday. 7-2 on the morning line, went off 3-5. And ran like a 35-1 shot, to be honest with you.
Yeah, he didn't pick up his feet yesterday, that's for sure. But I can tell you this. You're right about the trainers. They just like jockeys, they have highs and lows, just like the players have highs and lows. And when you get trainers that are coming into a meet that are hot, unless they are pointing towards that meet, most of their stock when they have won the races in the previous place they've been, come in there, and now they have to fit that stocks into different races with different conditions. And some of them run out of the conditions that they can be competitive at, right?
Right. Not only that, just like you said, they have horses pointed. Sherry DeVoe, I keep talking about her, but she was so hot at fairgrounds, and every horse she sent out won, and Jose Ortiz rode most of them. And it's just not carrying over. It's just very hard to maintain such a high winning percentage meet after meet. Everything backs down. You change stock, you roll it over, you have fresh horses coming in. Just like Saratoga, for example, Chad Brown, to him, that's the most important meet of the year. You go to Gulfstream, he cools down. Where Pletcher excels, for example, at Gulfstream, he used to do that in New York. Well, now he backed down. So you just got to catch on when they're hot and take advantage of it, and avoid playing these short-priced horses again, especially off of trainers coming off of big meets the previous one.
Yeah, but we also have to try to identify the trainers that are pointing towards a meet, like Wesley Ward always does well at Keeneland, and like you say, Chad Brown points for Saratoga. So if we can get and you guys are pretty sharp at it. We got to take a look at the trainers who have pointed their barns for these particular meetings. But I'll tell you, it looked like it was really speed favoring yesterday on the dirt yesterday at Keeneland.
It certainly was. I mean, that's how that track used to be. Maybe, it rained yesterday morning for about 3 hours. I heard about 3:30 in the morning, not last night, but 2 nights ago. So maybe that sped up the track. I don't know. The day before, it seemed a lot more fair. Horses were winning from everywhere, but that was certainly not the case yesterday. And by the way, Owen Almighty, like you said, just dropped out of the Derby. So someone else is going to, I guess 21 now moves to 20.
Yeah.
And I'm sure you'll have a couple of more defections, maybe 2 I could think of possibly, and other horses have a chance to get in. And again, you have the European horses that were given spots. 2 of them already committed for sure that they're coming. Yeah. So the third one is still up in the air.
All right. Well, I'm going to tout a little bit of Jonathan Dardoon's sheet here today because he's not going to give us a play at Oaklawn Park. But on his sheet, to no surprise, he has Skelly as the top-rated horse in the feature race. I mean, this horse is he's Mr. Oaklawn. I mean, he's going for his 9th consecutive win at Oaklawn. But I will tell you this, folks. If you get Jonathan's sheet, and I always say, let's try to make a chicken soup out of chicken feathers. Now, Skelly's going to be odds on. He's 3-5 on the morning line. But he's got a nice fat 10-1 shot as his 2nd rated horse in that race. Enough said, teaser there. Now let's get started with some picks from you, Jonathan.
That's not fair, Ralph. Just give it to him. I like 1-3 cold in that race. Happy
right.
American, he's 10-1.
All right. Well, this is not my sheet.
Since I did so well yesterday, I'm throwing out an extra bone today.
Let me put it this way, folks. Psychologically, I knew that we would get something out of Jonathan at Oaklawn if I mentioned it. And I'm always going for you guys out there trying to get a little bit more out of these guys. So I'm glad that you finally fessed up for it. Yes, that's right. In that 9th race, you do like Skelly. But the horse that you have a 2nd at 10-1 is Happy American. It's the 1-3 combination there. All right, you can now give us some. And thank you so much for giving us that extra one because, Jonathan, yes, those horses did not run well yesterday. All of our handicappers' horses were hitting brick walls. But that happens sometimes. Let's get started today.
All right, let's look at race 7 at Aqueduct. By the way, it is overcast. The rain is coming. The only question is when. Anyway, 7th race today, a flat mile on the main track, and I like the number 7 horse in here. I'm Solo in Love, a 3-year-old gelding from the Rudy Rodriguez barn. Sneaky trouble in his last couple of races. He draws a good outside box today going a 1-turn mile. He's listed at 5-1 on the morning line. I like number 7. I'm Solo in Love to win today's 7th race out at Aqueduct.
Okay, you're Solo in Love, and let's hope we can be in love with this winner. In the 7th race, number 7. Easy to remember, 7th race, the 7 at the Big A. What's next?
Let's go to Gulfstream, race number 9, 1 mile and a 16th on the turf. And I like the number 7 horse in here, Imperatus, a 3-year-old colt from the Antonio Sano barn. Micah Husband's aboard to ride, 8-1 on the morning line. This is an improving horse. He's getting better with each start. Graduation day today for number 7, Imperatus, 8-1 on the morning line. In today's 9th and final, The ninth race, anyway. It's the ninth and final at Gulfstream today.
All right, ninth and final race today at Gulfstream, number 7, Imperatus. Just checking the late scratches. The only scratch in that race is the 10-horse Sweet Lazarus. So you still got that horse going in there. The 7-horse in the ninth race at Gulfstream Park. I'll bet you have a Keeneland pick.
Yeah, third race today, number 1, Tiger Moon. I like the rider switch today to Jose Ortiz. I like the fact that this horse is breaking from the inside. He's going to be forwardly placed. 3-1 on the morning line, number 1, Tiger Moon wins today's third out of Keeneland.
All right, we'll go to Keeneland Racecourse, and then the third race at Keeneland. The only scratch in that race is the 3-horse Business Model. The 3 Business Model is out. But the 1, Tiger Moon, is still in. You got the number 1 in the third race is your selection, the 1 in the third at Keeneland. All right, you got full sheets at Keeneland Aqueduct and, of course, at Oaklawn Park and at Gulfstream Park as well.
Correct. JONHARDOON.com. Ralph, stay safe, be well. We'll chat tomorrow.
You got it, my man, and we'll take a look at that Lexington as well tomorrow. Hey, thanks a lot.
Yes, sir.
Okay, we're going to go to our next break. When we come back, Rich Eng is standing by. Don't go away.
Here we are in Houston, opening up our first veteran village. This beautiful building that's going to house 161 homeless veterans. Any veteran that risks their lives and they're struggling with PTSD, mental illness, addiction. We're also building what I call comfort homes, 500 square foot homes. These are for older homeless veterans, so they have their own space and give them back some of their dignity, some of their independence, and most certainly give them back their life. Go to T2T.org to learn how you can change a veteran's life forever.
South Point offers all the types of entertainment you'd expect at a first-class Las Vegas resort. Did you know our 400-seat showroom is one of Las Vegas's top destinations for live entertainment? Enjoy live performances by classic Vegas entertainers, bands, and today's hottest comedians, plus a rock and dance floor. You can also enjoy live entertainment at the Grandview Lounge, where you'll feel all the vibes of old Las Vegas. Enjoy the music, and if you love to laugh, don't miss The Dirty at 12:30, our very own free comedy show. Every Friday night at 12:30 a.m. in the Grandview Lounge. The Dirty is 100% free, so arrive early. Go to southpointcasino.com or call the box office at 77136 for today's performances at the showroom and the Grandview Lounge. When you're ready for your favorite cocktail, stop in and unwind at one of our 7 specialty lounges. There's a bar around every corner, because you're in Vegas, baby.
All right, back on Race Day at Las Vegas for this Friday. Now we're going to go out to Rich Eng standing by. Richie, good morning.
Hey, good morning, Ralphie. Good morning, viewers. Good morning, listeners.
Now, Richie, we went through the football season. We went through, of course, college basketball, et cetera. And I had a few people ask me, he says, well, does Rich do any handicapping for baseball through the summertime? And I know that you pay close attention to your Mets, but do you play baseball on a regular basis?
Actually, I do have a handful of season win total bets, but I tell you what, we'll save that for.
Oh, we got another freeze up there. Okay.
Bet over or under their win totals.
All right, you just froze up for a second. So you'll give us some of your thoughts about baseball maybe on a Wednesday show when we're a little lighter on time, right?
Absolutely, yeah, because I want to be able to give the information to Sean so we can build graphics so the folks can see which teams I have.
You see,
but I do have 6 teams.
All right, see, these guys now are getting hip. Our handicappers getting hip to Sean, who does a great job for us. He's our producer of the show here, and we've gotten some with the new studio. We've gotten some equipment that can get us a lot of graphics behind us on the big screen. So Sean will be doing that for you as well. Okay. So, Keeneland, kind of an interesting meeting, that's for sure. I mean, it looks harder sometimes to put those pick 5 and pick 4 races together, but you do get paid off if you hit it.
Oh, yeah. I mean, it's one of those meets where, Ralph, if you can connect the dots, as one of the comments you like to say, you get well rewarded, but it's not easy to connect the dots. Horses for such a short meet are coming from all over the place. They're coming from Tampa. They're coming from Fairgrounds. They're coming from Oak Lawn. They're coming from off the shelf, and coming from New York and California. So it's really a smorgasbord, a buffet of racetracks where these horses are coming from. And I tell you what, one track that actually has been highlighting pretty well for the results is Turfway Park, a track that you and I have spent some time at, Ralph.
Sure.
But a lot of the Turfway horses are running pretty well from that Tapeta onto the main track and even the turf course. And, one of the angles I have for that, Ralph, actually two angles. One is the Tapeta surface really gets horses really sharp. They're in a really good form running over that synthetic surface. And two is the quality of racing at Turfway over the winter has improved a lot. If you take a look at the purse structure over the wintertime in Florence, Kentucky, it's pretty high.
Well, and that is, of course, since Churchill Downs bought Turfway Park, they have beefed up a lot of not only the purses, but the quality of racing and certainly the facility itself. The one thing about Churchill Downs is they will invest money into the properties that they have that are beneficial to them. And Turfway Park obviously is a great feeder for the Kentucky racing, especially for Churchill Downs for their meets as well. And Keeneland, of course, is it's a very special place.
Oh, it's a fantastic place. The architecture of it, their slogan is "Racing is as the way it was meant to be." And I heard you talking the other day with Jonathan about the fact that they did not have a track announcer for the longest time, Ralph. And in fact, I think the transition was made during the period where you and I were back in Kentucky.
Yeah.
They did not have a track announcer. And then they had Mike Battaglia start calling the races. And that was a big thing for them. That was like national news that Mike Battaglia was actually going to call the races at Keeneland. You know, he had been the regular announcer at Churchill Downs. But can you imagine trying to get things as basic as scratches and changes, or as you said, a race might start, and if you're like in line at the concession stand getting some burgoo,
You would
all
know
of a sudden you hear the crowd noise and the race has started.
Yeah, I remember when we went there, I said, "What's going on?" "Oh, there's a race going on. Where's the announcer?" But yes, they believe that horse racing at the purest state, that's for sure. But in that part of the country, at the time of the year that they have it, in the spring and the fall, the weather, and the just surroundings is just so beautiful there. And it's a very historic. Keeneland Park is, and of course, it's the number one place for horse sales. That's for sure. Hey, looking at today's Maker's Mark, it's a Grade 1 race for $650,000 at a mile on the turf. And Carl Spackler, obviously, is the favorite there at 9-5. And I'm going to tease your selections, of course, that people can get on the racedaylasvegas.com website. Just go to racedaylasvegas.com. Richie has a selection sheet for all the races at Keeneland, as well as Southern California. But for Keeneland this week, every day of the race meet at Keeneland. But, he is the big favorite in the Maker's Mark, yet your top pick is not Carl Spackler.
Yeah, one of the racing handicapping angles that you hear a lot is that when you have a champion, a Grade 1 type horse coming back off a layoff, the best time to try to beat that animal is first time out of the box. Now, I know, sometimes horses are just so talented, so tremendous, like a Torpedo Anna, that they'll win, fresh off the shelf. But if there's any vulnerability in the conditioning or just going from age 4 to age 5 or age 3 to age 4, whatever, that first race might show you something and might offer opportunity. So Carl Spackler is going to be an extremely short price, Ralph. And if you like him, you like him. If you single him and you're horizontal, so be it. I can't argue with that. But the horse that I picked to try to upset him today is the number 1 horse, Integration. And Frankie Dettori comes back to Keeneland to ride this horse. This horse ran a phenomenal race in the Pegasus World Cup turf. If you get a chance to watch the replay, I mean, I still can't believe this horse lost. What a tremendous rally under Dettori, and just got nipped by a horse called Spirit of St. Louis, who's another Chad Brown horse. But, what's it? The morning line is a 3-1, but if Carl Spackler is going to be 3-5 or 4-5, Ralph, if you can get an $8 horse, that actually makes a big difference in your horizontal wages.
And that $8 payoff, it looks a lot larger when you're trying to beat an odds-on favorite like that. All right, we will now get your official pick now that I yanked one out of you. One more out of you, too.
Well, I tell you what, before I give my pick today at Keeneland, I did see some of the people on the chatter talking about the Masters and golfers.
Oh, yeah.
And I do have 4 golfers that I bet in the future book, so I'll read them off real quick. I have Colin Morikawa at 15-1, Morikawa. I have Jason Thomas at 25-1. That's Thomas. I have Russell Hensley at 55-1. And the last golfer I have is Victor Hovland at 75-1. Right now, I'm not in the top 10, but it's still 3 more rounds to go. Moving day to day. Let's see if I can get some of these golfers up into the top 20, top 15.
Yeah, this is the premier golfing event, that's for sure, at beautiful Augusta course. All right.
Race 10 at Keeneland. It's maiden claiming 30. I'm going to take a drop-down horse coming in from Maiden Special, and that's one of the biggest class drops in horse racing from Maiden Special on a maiden claiming. Number 1, Abundance. This is Todd Pletcher and Irad Ortiz. Morning line of 5-1. I'm pretty sure we will not get 5-1, but even at 3-1 or 7-2, I think this horse is very live making that class drop. Number 1, Abundance, race 10.
All right, 10th race at Keeneland, number 1, Abundance. The 1, Abundance in the 10th. And since you like the 1 in the 9th race, I'm going to do a late double, 1-1 late double from the 9th to the 10th race. Your official pick on the show is the 1. Don't forget, you can get the rest of Richie's picks today for Keeneland at the racedaylasvegas.com website. Thanks a lot, Richie.
Hey, thanks, Al. Good luck, everybody.
All righty, we're going to come back. I'm going to get you Jerry Jackowitz picks and then go out to Southern California where John Lindo is standing by. Don't go away.
If you're celebrating a special
this beautiful building that is going to house 161 homeless veterans. Any veteran that risks their lives and they're struggling with PTSD, mental illness, addiction. We're also building what I call comfort homes, 500 square foot homes. These are for older homeless veterans, so they have their own space and give them back some of their dignity, some of their independence, and most certainly give them back their life. Go to T2T.org to learn how you can change a veteran's life forever.
South Point offers all the types of entertainment you'd expect at a first-class Las Vegas resort. Did you know our 400-seat showroom is one of Las Vegas's top destinations for live entertainment? Enjoy live performances by classic Vegas entertainers, bands, and today's hottest comedians, plus a rockin' dance floor. You can also enjoy live entertainment at the Grand View Lounge, where you'll feel all the vibes of old Las Vegas. Enjoy the music, and if you love to laugh, don't miss The Dirty at 12:30, our very own free comedy show, every Friday night at 12:30 a.m. in the Grand View Lounge. The Dirty is 100% free, so arrive early. Go to southpointcasino.com or call the box office at 77136 for today's performances at the showroom and the Grand View Lounge. When you're ready for your favorite cocktail, stop in and unwind at one of our 7 specialty lounges. There's a bar around every corner, because you're in Vegas, baby.
The Race Day Las Vegas Show, the only exclusive daily local media racing information source in Las Vegas.
Alrighty, back on Race Day Las Vegas, putting the finishing touches on this Friday show. As you know, Jerry Jackowitz will not be with us today. He is traveling right now. But he did give me a pick off of the power pages for Aqueduct, so we'll get you that Jerry's pick right now. In the 6th race today at Aqueduct, Jerry's feature play is the 6-horse Pam, I should say. In the 6th race, the 6, Pam. It's easy to remember, the 6 in the 6th race. His next rated horses for link-ups include numbers 1, 3, and 4. 6 over 1, 3, 4, but the 6 is the key in the 6th race. Don't forget to reverse that. The 6, Pam, 5-2 on the morning line in the 6th race at Aqueduct, and the rest of the power pages you can get at jerryjspowerpage.com. All right, let's go out to Southern California where Mr. John Lendo is standing by. John, good morning.
Good morning, Ralph. How you doing?
Doing fine. Just getting used to the new studio here with all of the a lot better, not lot better, but a lot more kind of fun things that we can do with the technology here. But in any case, Keeneland, boy, I'll tell you what, it's a challenging meet, is it not?
It always is. And yesterday, the main track went from muddy to start the card to good midway to fast at the end of the day. And as it dried out a little bit, especially the route races, it just turned out to be no passing on the main track late in that card. So, we have to adjust to conditions on the fly, and it created some interesting results, that's for sure.
Well, it was a couple of interesting results from guys that we know from Southern California. Peter Urton, who has a stable now in the Kentucky circuit, he had a nice winner in the last race with Southern California's leading jockey right now, Juan Hernandez, who's spending a week out there at Keeneland while they have a break at Santa Anita. So they got together and paid over $11 to win the last race. And then it was really fun to watch the first race and watch David Flores win that race. And people were thinking, David Flores, is that his son? No, that is David Flores. We remember him from Southern California as the kingpin at Pomona and a very good jockey on the Southern California circuit back in the late in the 70s and the 80s. And he was winning that race, 57 years old. And that was his first win since 2021 as a jockey. And I understand he's Wesley Ward's right-hand man there now.
He gets a lot of the 2-year-olds started in Florida for Wesley Ward. He's got a training facility down there that he works at. So he knows a lot of these Wesley Ward 2-year-olds. And Ward put him on 2 or 3 last year. He didn't win. He hit the board, I think, once or twice. Mm-hmm. But it was nice to see him get a live mount there. And he looked like David Flores yesterday. Tracked the pace, pull away, and did it easy. And he's a really good horseman. And winning one race after a 4-year winless drought, that's pretty impressive.
Yeah, that was a lot of fun. David is a good horseman, too, that's for sure. Well, we got a grade 1 race today at Keeneland, the Maker's Mark Mile at a mile, and Carl Spackler will gain all the attention in that race with Flavian Pratt aboard.
Well, this has got to be the hunch play of the week, doesn't it, Ralph? Carl Spackler is the character that Bill Murray played as the greenskeeper in
that's right.
in Caddyshack, and the Masters is this week. Yeah. So there you go. If you want to tie it together, there it is.
Oh, yeah, that's the hunch bet of the day, that's for sure. But he's going to be a short price in that race. But I'm sure that he's ready to go in that Maker's Mark, that's for sure. And, of course, John, before we get your pick of Keeneland, I know that the horsemen and even the players in Southern California got to be anxious to get back to racing in Southern California. What's going on back there in the backstretch?
Just, they're taking their break this week. It's a regularly scheduled break between the Classic meet and the Hollywood meet. The weather's perfect out here. Gives the grass course a chance to kind of recover a little bit from all the racing on the turf. We will start back at Santa Anita a week from today. So we'll see how that goes. And purses will be up a little bit from the spring meet last year due to the consolidation of Northern and Southern California. So that's a good sign. We still have to see, the horse population is good down here. It's just obviously with the Northern California horses, the quality of the cards are a little bit different than what we're used to.
And, of course, the Southern California-based horses moving on to the Kentucky Derby training just well, right? Nothing there?
Yeah, no news is good news. Haven't heard anything negative about the connections of horses like journalism. I don't think Baeza is going to ship out there. He's sitting on the outside looking in. Mm-hmm. But you can look for him in the Preakness. And, we'll see how the Bob Baffert horses train. Rodriguez is back from New York. Mm-hmm. And we'll have to find out what's going to happen with Citizen Bull as well.
Well, the Linda Report also taking a break from Southern California. But you do have a Linda Report, and it's available for Keeneland. It's been doing the Keeneland meet for you. The Linda Report covering all the races, the suggested late pick 4, and all the goodie information on one comprehensive sheet, as it always is. And it's free of charge here in Las Vegas, only in one place. That's here at the South Point, complimentary, because they love horse players here and the Linda Report. Give us a winner, John.
Let's go to race number 8. It's part of that pick 6 carryover over $200,000 at Keeneland. In the 8th race, a maiden special weight. First-time starter, number 3, Surprise, from the Brad Cox stable. Back in February, worked with a filly named Heavenly Sunset, who broke her maiden really nicely earlier in the Keeneland meet. Worked heads up with another good maiden named Mainstream down there in March in Florida. So he's been keeping really good company in the morning. comes up here for his debut. I think he'll like 7 furlongs based on the workout films that I've seen. 7-2 on the morning line. I think a very live first-time starter. Number 3, Surprise, race number 8 at Keeneland.
Well, to us, it will be no surprise. And in the 8th race, you like the 3-horse Surprise to win the 8th race, the number 3, and of course, the rest of the Linda Report right here at the South Point Hotel Casino Raceway. Well, we wrap up this Friday show. We're heading into the weekend, and all I can say, John, is that it's going to be fun racing over the weekend, that's for sure, just to see what's going on. And since Jerry's not here, the last word is yours.
Have a great race day, everybody.